Hey, Jacquelyn. Thanks for joining me on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all things ranching and farming, and you guys do things a little differently than most, direct to consumer or even, bigger meat farm operations. And so I'm really excited to talk about what you guys are doing because you're doing an amazing job. I personally purchased meat from you and love it. And it really is super meaningful to my family to have people like you doing what you're doing. So I'm excited to talk about that and why that's important today. But I'd like to back up and just kind of get to know you a little bit and let the audience get to know you. So can you tell us about your family?
Yeah, so it's just me and my husband, and we have three little kids that are on the ranch with us every day and helping.
Yes.
My husband comes from four generations of cattle ranchers from old Mexico, so he has a big heritage of it. I come from my dad grew up on a ranch, my mom grew up on a farm, and
Yeah.
it's been in both of our backgrounds. And now we're doing it, and we're doing it a little bit differently than what even our well, my grandpa actually is what got us started on rotational grazing because he has a very extensive rotational grazing practice in New Mexico and has done
Wow.
amazing things with it. But everyone else, we've definitely changed how we do things.
Yeah. So how did you learn to do what you're doing?
It started out with kind of my grandpa, like seeing what he was doing in like the deserts of New Mexico, no grass, and he was like having way more grass than all of his neighbors. They don't get much rain, and he's just completely transformed it. So we've seen that, which led us to like a ranching for profit school because it is very hard to make a profit with cattle,
Mm.
nearly impossible actually. And that just started us on this path of rotational grazing, and then that is actually regenerative.
Mm.
And then we got into well, I wanted to lose weight as a new mom,
Yeah.
and I started eating a lot of chicken. Then I learned how chicken was processed, and I was like, and raised, and I was, oh my gosh, I can't eat this. And I was like, I'll just raise it myself. So then I found Joel Salatin, and
Mhm.
he's like all regenerative, all um, farm to table, direct to consumer. And it was just a rabbit hole from there. Like we're just
Yeah.
down the rabbit hole, and we can do it. So we did it. And
Yeah. Well, what was the connection between like profits and rotational grazing?
well, they claim that if you rotationally graze, that you can almost double your animals because you can graze more animals on less ground because it's getting the rest that it needs.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they've convinced a lot of farmers to get into it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we've seen that
Yeah.
part of it. We do graze m more than like what I'd say our neighbors do, and we feed less hay, which is also like part of the profitability of it is like
Yeah.
when you manage the land properly and give it rest, you can feed less, which is increases your profits. And
Yeah.
maybe if we ever have a normal year, we would be able to run more cattle. But since we've started it, it's been a drought for 4 years. This year we finally got rain, and then now it's really dry this fall when we're supposed to be stockpiling for winter. So it's the
Always something.
thing. It's the life of farming and ranching. Like it's
Yeah.
you're dealing with animals, which are uncontrollable, and you're dealing with weather that's an uncontrollable.
Yeah. Well, okay, so you guys really invested in learning how to do things a different way. Can we kind of talk about why that's important? Like, what are most people that raise, animals for meat? Like, so if they have, a meat business, like, how are most people raising their meat? I guess it might be easier to talk about one thing at a time if you want to talk about cattle first and beef.
Yeah. So I would say like most people that raise like your commercial, are you asking like the commercial, like if you have
Yeah, like what you would buy at Walmart or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
So commercially, the way it goes is you have a small producer, like it's like 98% of the beef is produced by producers like our size that are like 50 head of cattle or less. We would raise the calf till about 500 pounds, take it to the sale barn and sell it. Somebody would buy it from the sale barn and usually put it out to pasture really until it's about 700 pounds. Then somebody else would buy it and put it in a feedlot until it reaches 14 to 1600 pounds.
Wow.
And in that time, they're like every different step, it would get vaccines because they didn't know what vaccines it had the time before. It gets dewormed. If they have like a little droopy ear or real little runny nose, they get hit up with antibiotics. Um, did I lose you?
Yes. Start like I got you from like each time it would get new vaccines because you didn't know what it got the time before.
Okay. So, they will get antibiotics for any little droopy ear, little bitty runny nose. They just have to because they're trying to make money. Like I understand the commercial prospect of it or the side of it. And eventually they also do growth hormones in them a lot to raise them faster. Um, and then it ends up in a feedlot and it could get fed anything. I've heard of feedlots feeding rotten cereal. Like that's a common one. If the cereal goes bad and they feed it to the animals. I've heard of them feeding um whole like walnut holes from like, you pick up walnuts around the wall and then they'll feed the walnut holes to the cow. Like cows can really eat anything
Wow.
and they'll feed them anything.
Wow. Like they can and they will. Doesn't mean that's what's
That's
best,
good
right?
for them. Yeah, they're not healthy. They're not healthy at all. And then the other side of that is when they go to processing, they're processed within 24 hours. Like they are like cut up and shipped to the store 24 hours. And so the meat, that's why your meat has a lot of fluid in it, a
Hmm.
lot of water really, and why it doesn't have much flavor. So
Wow. That's I don't even know what to say. That's just like I don't even know how that's legal.
no. And that's if you got the American meat.
Right.
There's a whole other process. Like you don't even know we import so much meat right now, not from Mexico because of the screw worms, but we still import meat from Brazil and Argentina and New Zealand and Australia. And you just really have no idea. They and they throw it all into one big vat, and you can have like 1,000 different animals in 1 pound of ground beef.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
if you care about your meat and like you want to know, I don't know. It's just
You need to
not
buy
fair.
somebody that you know that can actually tell you and show you what they're doing. Yeah.
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 Like
So
it's
basically we're yeah. So basically the animals are being raised in such a way where they end up being very unhealthy, right? And then that meat is sold to us. So like what can we expect? Obviously, like
yeah.
logically, like it doesn't take like I don't know. Like
Yeah.
somebody studied this forever to realize that like if you're eating meat from unhealthy animals, that's not going to be healthy for you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's really like you can see the correlation of like they raise the animals to be as fat as possible, as fast as possible. And you can see the correlation with the Americans' health.
Yeah. Yeah. Like over half the population is overweight or obese. Yeah.
And I'm not saying I blame it all on the commercial meat industry. There's a lot of processed foods that go into it, but
Yeah, absolutely.
it's a factor for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Um, wow. And then, I mean, chickens similarly. I mean, I know it's a different process, but they just end up in a place where they're just really unhealthy animals, right?
They are. I think chickens and pigs actually gross me out the most of the commercial
Yeah.
industry. Chickens, they are in a barn 100% of the time. They get them as chicks, they put them in the barn, they never leave the barn. They put shavings down, but like they're living in their own poop and they put antibiotics in the feed and or water to keep them from dying because they like to die because they've genetically not modified, they're not GMO, but they're genetically selected to grow as fast and fat as possible. Like
Yeah.
in 35 days, they go from a little chick to a 5-pound chicken. And
Yeah.
it takes 8 weeks for me to get in there.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Gotcha. And then we have a whole nother issue when it comes to like purchasing meat in the store because I mean you have looks like you have a lot of options, but I've learned we really don't have a lot of options because, there's it looks like there's different brands to choose from, but these brands are owned by just a very select few companies, right? So if you like go to the end of the funnel, like they're coming from just a few large corporations that are then like packaging it into these different brands. And we have a whole mess with like branding and like labeling laws and issues. Can you kind of talk about that? Because is it true that you can get a package of meat that says product of the USA that's not really from the USA?
that was true. And I'm not sure when it come into, they did pass a law that they were supposed to not do that,
Mm,
that you were supposed to. But then, like, I'm on the other side of that. There's no way they would know. If
yeah,
like, you cross a calf at 500 pounds from Mexico, and then it goes to 1,400 pounds in America and then processed at an American facility, how are you going to know that?
right,
Like nobody's going to be like, oh, that one beef right there came from Mexico, so it can't have the product of the USA label on it. So I just don't think the labels can be trusted, to be honest. They're very greenwashed. They're put there to tell people or to sell meat for what they think people want
right,
and not necessarily uh honest about it. Like it's just like I seen I've seen pork that's like naturally raised pork. What does
yeah,
that mean?
yeah. Natural is like the worst word to see on
Like
packaging.
natural flavors? What does that even mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think labels are just so deceiving. And like even like the organic label on meat, like a lot of that organic beef in the store, it's coming from Brazil and Argentina and Australia. How do you know? Like
Right,
you don't know what the animal had. You don't know there.
right,
It's just so non-transparent.
right. And they could have been given organic feed or grain and it doesn't mean that they're like, and when they should have been eating grass,
Yeah.
right? And so it still doesn't mean that it's the healthiest option just because
Yeah.
it's organic. Yeah.
And like you get onto the grass fed and the grass finished, like they it can be grass fed and grass finished if it's in a feedlot fed a hay bale.
Mm,
And I'm like, that's not the picture that people think of when they see grass fed, grass finished. It's
right.
not a muddy feedlot with a hay bale. It is on a pasture being rotationally grazed. And there are people out there doing that.
Mm,
But you do have to take some initiative to get to know what they're doing.
yeah.
And honestly, like we sold at farmers market, but you can't just expect the people at the farmers market to be doing that because they're at the farmers market and selling direct. Like it
True. True. You have to ask questions, right?
have to ask questions. Or if they're like on social media or they share an email or they have blogs and like they should be open to communication about it because like it's important.
hmm Yeah. So take me through the process of how you would raise cattle.
So we raise our beef all the way from conception to plate. It's a really long time. It's about 3 years.
Yeah.
And the cattle are rotationally grazed all year round. And the calves, they get weaned around 600 pounds. Then they go into a separate spot to be rotated.
Mm,
And um, then when they get around 800 pounds, we put them in a group that gets rotated, also gets fed alfalfa, prairie hay, and some non-GMO corn.
yeah.
Because we do like the corn flavor and it provides a consistent flavor. So on the side of also trying to make healthy animals and make a successful business, you need some consistency.
Yeah.
And that's like the mixture we've come up with that makes really good tender beef that tastes really good too.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yeah. Right.
Worse than I've raised the beef completely grass fed, grass finished, and you get it in your freezer and you're like, this is gonna be the best beef ever. And then we ended up feeding it to the dogs. It was so terrible.
Mm.
So that's the last thing I want for a customer. And grass is a lot of inconsistency, different times of year, different how much rain did you have. And so 100% grass finished is maybe one day we'll have it like figured out. I'm not against it,
Yeah.
but also where we're at right now tastes really good and they're healthy. Like we're
Mhm.
not given antibiotics. We don't give any vaccines. They don't get any growth hormones. Like they're natural. So it's
Right.
kind of this in between world of grass finished, grass fed, and I have a hard time labeling it.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, and that's important that you're talking about like the vaccines and the antibiotics and the growth hormones that are or are not given to the animals because, if it's given to the animals and we consume that, right, then that becomes part of us.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people don't realize that that is really important to think about. It's not something that just like goes in and goes out of the animal,
Right.
right? Right. It affects them and how
Well,
and the quality of meat. Yeah.
beef that have had antibiotics, and that's another label we can talk about. It can
Yeah.
say antibiotics only if it's gone through the 30-day withdrawal period.
Oh, wow.
No antibiotics does not mean no antibiotics ever. And also back to that traceability, that transparency, that grocery store is not going to know what the person, small producer, did to the calf when it was 3 days old.
Mm-hmm.
They're just not. There's just no way. And and also like beef that have had antibiotics, their liver will have pus pockets in it.
Ugh.
So,
Oh my gosh.
which for me, I'm just like, when I learned that, I'm like, well, how can you think that it's okay to give them this antibiotics and that the animal is going to be healthy? And I get it. Like as a commercial producer, like you want to just keep the animal alive
Yeah.
because you want to make money. But at the
Right.
same time, if we're trying to be healthy, like that kind of like just defeats the purpose.
Right. I mean, and the liver is what filters out the toxins. So if the animal's liver isn't healthy, like that's should be a huge red flag that this animal is having problems. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Good thing to look for, I guess. And I did not know that about the no antibiotics, the 30-day rule. That's
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
And they do have programs like a GAP program where they like try to be like if it's a GAP 4 certified, then the rancher is supposed to like really not, they're paying to be certified. They're having somebody audit them. So those are your best shot.
Yeah.
And then I just always have that person in the back of me was like, but how do they really know? Like,
Right.
you really know?
Yeah, true. And on the growth hormone part of it, I mean, if you just look around at like the general health of the American, um, we have a lot of hormone issues going on. We have, girls that are starting puberty really early. We have huge infertility crisis. We have, men with like very low testosterone, women with tons of like hormonal imbalance, and that shows up in, a mile long list.
With
Yeah. PCOS, painful periods, thyroid issues. It just could go on and on. And the antibiotics definitely affect our gut health as well, which then also play into our hormonal health. So that's just like, it's so much that, right, right. Yeah. It's worth finding an option that doesn't have that is what I want to say, right? It's for the meat that you are going to eat on a consistent basis, and feed your family on a regular basis. Like it is worth finding a good quality meat that isn't gonna like because there's so much benefit to meat. Like, so many like nutrients in meat in general, like, different nutrients in different meat, but like we want, but we can also be harming ourselves if we're not careful.
Yeah. And I think the big thing for me is like those unhealthy animals don't have the nutrients. And animal proteins are the most bioavailable source of nutrients for our body. It is the fuel our body wants.
Yeah.
And if you're eating, and say you're eating a whole food diet, but like that protein wasn't eaten a diet it's supposed to be eaten, and you're missing the nutrients, like
Yeah.
you're still paddling up a river without a going upriver without a paddle kind of stuff. But
Yeah. Yeah. True. I've interviewed AJ Richards on this podcast. I'm not sure
yeah,
if he's from the farm, kind of developer. And one thing that he talked about is just the kind of scary situation that we're in the US, relying on these foreign entities and foreign producers to provide meat for our country when we are very like capable and should be able to produce like plenty of meat for our own country. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's terrifying. Like
Yeah.
there, uh, China owns some pork companies.
Yep.
I've I've seen things where they said that they take pigs to China to get processed and then sent back to us. I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense.
How is that efficient? I don't know. I don't get how that works either, but I've heard the same thing.
We were watching a airplane show on Netflix or something, and it was a pig or a plane flying to China with like just processed pork and then getting it processed and coming back. I'm like, that doesn't, how does that work?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't, there's no reason to rely on other countries. Like we should be fully self-sufficient. And
Yeah.
there are, there are more and more people like us trying to get out there to provide the meat for people
Mhm.
and have it be healthy. And it's hard. I know. And I know it's an investment in your family to buy meat from a farmer. But then at some point, like, what kind of country do you want to live in? Kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right. I think, I don't know. Like, I don't know, because I'm in the health and wellness world, I sometimes see information that other people don't see. So to me, like, there is more information out there about good quality meat and farmers that are like you that are, trying to produce a good product to sell to people. Um, but I do think there is still I just a lack of education, like, um, you know, at large, in the American population of people that don't realize all these things that we've just talked about. The quality, how important the quality of their meat is, and how that not only affects, farmers like you, but them, like, right, in their own health. So I think that's like definitely a part of it. I hope that the money issue is becoming less because meat in the stores is not cheap anymore.
No, not. I think I looked at the national average of ground beef, and it's like the national average is like 750.
Yeah,
And when we started, it was like 350.
right.
And that's because like the calf, for us to sell a calf off a cow at 500 pounds is worth $2,500 right now.
Wow.
And
That's
then
almost scary that that's
it is
crazy.
it is crazy. It's really great for small commercial producers because when we started, it was worth $600.
Yeah.
It's partly why we started because we wanted to bring in another source of income for the farm.
Mhm.
But now it's like, and it won't stay there forever. The market does this.
Yeah.
It's guaranteed it's going to come in 2014. It peaked and it dove. Like
Mhm.
it's going to come back down. When that's going to happen, I don't know, with the Mexican border being closed, because right now there's feedlots that are empty because there's no cattle for them.
Yeah.
And we have the lowest cattle numbers since like 1970s or 60s.
Wow.
Like it is something to consider that like
Yeah.
the beef prices are only going to get higher.
Right. Well, like in my mind, like the solution to a lot of the problems that we've talked about, the problem of America not being self-sufficient in our meat production. Um, and it's true for grain and stuff as well. The problem of, meat being so expensive in the stores, the problem of, all these regulations and labeling issues. Like, to me, that solution is like finding people like you and then just buying directly from you. That to me, like if more people could start doing that, like we would see a turnaround in a lot of these issues.
Yeah, for sure. I think so too. And I mean, you think about it for yourself. You have meat in the freezer. Like,
Yeah.
you're good. Like, grocery store can do whatever it wants. Like, you're fine. Your family will be fed.
Yeah.
And I think that level of security is not, like, people don't think about that.
Yeah.
It's,
True.
they're used to the grocery store always having it, but
Right.
it may.
Yeah. Yeah. And I realize like some people aren't going to be able to, like they, buy in bulk or whatnot, but there are options out there where you can, buy smaller portions and things like that. So I just think that it's really important for people to realize that the value of our dollar when it comes to like solving some of these problems, and that we're voting with our dollars when we purchase anything, any food product, but when we purchase applies to meat as well. When we purchase meat, we're voting for what we want. So if we want more good options, then we have to start putting our money there.
Yeah, the big wigs, the big companies will 100% follow
Yep.
where the dollar goes. Like,
Yep.
they're not, and that's the deal with like the calves being so much. They're not going to lose money. The packers are not going to lose money. The feedlots are not going to lose money. So if the calf starts at $2,500 now, and by the time it gets to the grocery store, it's going to be $15 a pound.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll just be passed to us.
Yeah, it will. It has to. Like, it's just economics.
Right. Yeah. What do you want us to know about like purchasing meat from you guys and farmers like you?
It's, I think it's a different thing for people.
Mhm.
And for some people, they think it's inconvenient,
Yeah.
but maybe that's the point. Like, I think it's convenient.
Right. You guys even ship your meat to whoever.
We
So,
do. Yeah,
I
we
mean, I
do.
don't know how it can get more convenient. Yeah.
Some people are like, it's inconvenient to have the meat in the freezer and have to unthaw it. And
Right. Okay.
yeah. And then, like, they only want the
Mm.
bacon and the ribeyes. But to be sustainable, like, there's more of an animal than the bacon and the ribeyes.
Yeah.
So, buying wholes and halves and quarters is really the only way to like make a farm sustainable
Mhm.
and like connect with the land. And if you don't know how to cook a cut, like, contact the farm or the rancher.
Right.
Contact me. Like, I've cooked it all. I'll help you. I even do tongue and heart and liver, and it's actually way better than you ever thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think that, yeah, just like being willing, like, we are dealing with live animals and weather, and like there's sometimes like, hey, I need a couple more weeks. This animal needs more time to grow.
Yeah.
We just live in a society of convenience, and I think it's not good.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. We're a little spoiled, too
Well,
spoiled with.
a little too
Yeah.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Like, we just think that things need to be the quicker, the faster, the easier, the better it is. And I think that is not the case. Like, it
Right.
was it called the comfort crisis?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I can totally see that. It's a great way to put it. When it comes to the way the animals are raised, the faster is better model, applies there. And then with the way that we're trying to eat, like feed ourselves, faster is better applies there. So you're right. Like we really should take some time to think about that and like how that's affecting us and the long-term impacts of that.
Yeah. And what's a little bit of planning ahead.
Yeah.
Hey, I know my farmer rancher is gonna have beef this time, pork this time.
Right.
Maybe I need to stock up a little bit now. And a freezer is an investment.
Yeah.
Like it's a good investment. They're good. They're handy to have. Like you won't
Yeah.
just it won't go bad in there. I mean, maybe if it lasts you don't eat it for 5 years, but that's not the point. Like you don't buy the meat just to sit there. You buy it to eat.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah. I agree. Like definitely worth it. I mean, we do that for other things. Like we save money to go on a vacation. We save money to, buy a home thing or a vehicle that we want. So why would we not like apply that, you know, investment savings mindset to our health?
yeah, I and it pays dividends. Like
Hmm.
I really do believe you're either going to invest in like how you live and what you survive off of, or you're going to be investing in doctors later.
Exactly. Right. Choose your investment, right?
Yeah.
Choose your
The
cost.
money's the money's gonna get spent in some way or the other.
Yeah.
Like, um,
Well, talk about your own kind of health journey. I mean, you guys said you weren't always ranching this way, and you said before you were eating chicken, and then you realized, oh, that chicken wasn't really raised well, and so you switched. Have you noticed a difference in your own health, in your family's health?
oh yeah. I mean, health is a journey, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
I always thought it was healthy because like I didn't eat out much. Even in college, I was like, I didn't eat out because I didn't want to spend the money.
Right.
And but I would eat some more processed food. Like I remember I would buy a $5 frozen pizza and that would be 2 meals. I'm like, yes, same.
Right, right. Cheap
But
fuel. Yeah.
yeah. But it really changed when we had our first kid, which I feel like is very relatable for a lot of people. Like there's something about that first baby, man. They just changed
Opening
things.
your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what am I putting in your body? What?
Like you just want to be so good for them. They're so amazing. And also having them the first daughter like was such a spiritual experience of like, oh my gosh, this is how God feels about me. How
Yes.
possible. So really with my first daughter, I learned about hair and bread, human hair in bread. And I was like, never again am I buying grocery store bread. And I haven't. And then you just like once you get down that rabbit hole of like looking at labels and research and like learning that maybe the grocery store doesn't have your best interests at heart,
Right.
it's just like it's doesn't stop after that. So once I learned about chickens and I was like, cannot, will not eat those. Like even if we go out to eat, I will eat beef before I eat chicken or pork.
Yeah.
But so it's just been a journey of like learning about human physiology, what our body wants for fuel, how food is literally fuel for our body,
Yeah.
and optimizing that the best we can with better quality meat. Um, I even started adding fish, but then I have to like buy it and have it shipped in because I live in the middle of the United States. Like we don't have
Right.
this one.
Yep.
And I'm okay with that. Like it's an investment. And I know that. I know it has iodine that my body needs, among other things. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we just really, Whole Foods is a major part of our health.
Mhm.
Circadian rhythm, like my blue light blockers, major
Yep.
part of our health for the hormones and lowering stress,
Mhm.
which is possible. Like for me, it's shutting off my brain.
Yeah. Getting outside. I know you spend a lot of time outside, so that's
Yeah.
really good for your stress. Yeah.
I don't know. My stress happens outside.
True.
It's such a different world for me. People are like, oh, you're outside all the time. I'm like, I am outside. And the cows get out and the chickens get out and the pigs get out. And
And you're
there's a
building
horse
fence and
trying to, yeah, gotta go build fence with the three kids. And so, my big stressor in life is, trying to run the meat business. So I will sit there and think about stuff nonstop. And then I just have to be like, stop. This is not the time and place to think about that.
Yeah.
Stress is such a huge part of health.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna let the video catch up. There it goes. Yeah. And I love seeing the videos of you and your kids on social media and how you just get them involved in all the different ranch chores and projects that you have going on. Like, what do you hope that your kids take away from growing up on the ranch?
A work ethic and, like in connection with nature, like in connection with the seasons and um that the food on your table came from your hard work. And like they'll be like, what's bacon from? I'm like, it's from that pig you raised. Okay. And a lot of people's like, ew, that's the cute little piggy. But I'm like, that's not how it's meant to be. Like it is when I think it's so honorable to know where the pig came from,
Yeah.
to see that it lived a good life. Because you're gonna eat it anyways, right?
Right.
So doesn't it feel better to know that it like lived the life it was supposed to live versus being in a barn?
Right.
So I want them to have that connection to the land. And I hope that like if they want to be on the farm, that it's an option for them because it's not for a lot of people.
Right. I saw a statistic the other day that there's like 77 family farms shutting down like every day.
Yeah,
I'm like, how is that even possible? That's insane.
it is. It's a it's a hard thing to make a profitable business.
Hmm.
And then it's also you have to be really connected to it and really love it and really care about the people you're feeding to continue it
Yeah.
because, you know, things like to go wrong.
Right. Well, I'm not sure that I am going to be a rancher anytime soon.
Yeah.
I do love to teach my kids about gardening and like where their food comes from, in the garden. And then of course we talk about where our meat comes from and we're hunters, and so they get to see
Yeah.
where that meat comes from. And so I love that value, and I love that you are modeling that for people and through your content on social media and inspiring us. We are watching, and it is really inspiring. So I love that you do that. What is the best way for us to support you and farmers like you, ranchers like you?
Um, I mean, if you can't buy their products, like just sharing the social media posts, telling your friends about it, like just getting the word out there. The hardest thing about this business for me at least has been the marketing.
Yeah.
Like I can raise the animals, like things go bad there all the time, but that's just life and you just deal with it. And I think we froze again. Again,
Hang on.
I'm supposed to have good internet with Starlink, but I don't think I do.
I was like, I don't know if it's mine. Like, it's usually fine, but you never know. It could be
I
mine.
mean, we didn't have Starlink and my parents have it and they live just like I can see the house from here and
Yeah,
it's been good for them. And we got Starlink and it's not been as
that's
great.
good. Yeah.
But we're middle of nowhere. Like it's just rural life.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I heard was the marketing is hard. So if you want to add anything to that, you can. But
Yeah, the marketing has been my greatest struggle. And I've taken courses. I know how to run ads and um but just like you can't beat word of mouth. You
yeah.
just and so even if like you can't afford to buy meat or you're just not there yet, just telling your friends about it, sharing it on social media, like
Right.
it social media is important.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say just to like really think about the price that you are paying for meat because like we said earlier, the price in the grocery store isn't cheap. And the meat that I've gotten from you has been a really great I think very fair price per pound. For and just amazing quality. We love it. But, I think that might be a little bit of an adjustment that people need to make in their mental like thought process of purchasing meat. Like it's really not that much more expensive. If you buy in bulk, then of course you're going to have to spend more at once. But
Yeah.
price per pound, like rethink about it. Think about it as price per pound and realize that you're really not getting an expensive, extravagant thing here. Like this is really reasonable.
Yeah, especially if you think like you get the prime steaks that would be like your fillets $50, $60 a pound, and you're getting them for like $13 a pound.
Hmm.
Like you have to think about that too. And
Yeah. Yeah, I saw like some roasts and steaks at Costco the other day, and I was like, my jaw dropped at like the price per pound on some of those cuts of meat. And I was like, I wouldn't not ever buy this. Like,
yeah,
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 I
yeah,
just wouldn't. Yeah.
yeah. And because like the quality is not there.
Yep.
You
Yeah, that's it too. Yeah, you're paying like such high prices and getting such low quality when you could pay a very fair price with a farmer and get amazing quality.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. And I think too, maybe people think that like a half a pig is like 70 to 80 pounds.
Mhm.
And they're like, that's so much meat. And I'm like, well, is it though? Like,
Right.
if you eat
Yeah,
at
for
home,
my family of six, it's not that much.
it's
We
not
got
very
through it
much.
like really fast. Yeah.
We do like 2.5 pigs for our family.
Yeah.
And my parents used to not eat very much, and now they're eating like a whole pig themselves because they start eating at home. And I think too, for people that like struggle with the price, I'm like, if you eat out at all, I don't know what Chipotle is now, but like 6 months ago, it was like $11 for ground beef, rice, and beans.
Yeah.
And I was like, did the math for like, because we cook that, we eat that at home. I'm like, our premium meat at its price, and then the rice
These are so
beans,
cheap. Yeah.
and I'm like, we're like $4 a serving instead of $11.
Yeah.
So I think look back to that convenience culture. It's just like it's more convenient to go there than it is to uh, to cook it yourself. But
Yeah.
you're paying for it. I heard that like people spend 10% of their income eating out.
But
Guys, that's a lot.
yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I mean, I believe it. And not just like, not that I'm like down on restaurants or anything, but it's just we've really shifted as a society.
Yeah, it's true. Like there's so much we could talk about with that. Like there's there's been so much happening with like marketing toward women and families of like, it's not cool, it's oppressive, it's so like hard on you to cook at home.
Yeah.
Like so here's this convenient option,
Yeah.
like either fast food or frozen meals or whatever
Yeah.
the marketing might be. But like that's really been kind of ingrained in us that like, it's oppressive to have to like cook at home and thaw out your meat and all these things. When really it's not. Like that is it's a privilege and an honor to do that for my family. And it's a blessing to be able to have like nutritious food to give my family.
Yeah. And I mean, you probably see it with your kids too. Like I see it when my kids eat a balanced meal versus whenever they eat like say they just want waffles for breakfast and
Yeah.
then our day is down the drain.
Yeah.
And they
The
don't
best is when they come back from like camp or something like that and they're like, "Mom, can you please make some good food?" Like especially after a few days, they notice it themselves.
they
Like
notice that they don't
not
feel
so good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think like the thing about cooking that I think people feel is hard is not necessarily the actual cooking. The actual cooking is not hard. But if you don't have practice at it and you don't have some go-to recipes that you don't have to look up the recipe for,
Mhm.
now that's hard.
Yeah.
Like back to the fish I bought. Like I bought this fish and I've been eating it, but I don't know how to cook fish because I've never cooked fish. It's really very simple, but I'm like looking at recipes and like
Yeah.
stressing out. I have
It takes a little
ingredients,
bit of time. You have a learning curve. Yeah.
learning curve. But I've done a couple now, and now I'm like, now I can throw it together.
Mhm.
But it is just something that takes practice and doesn't have to be complicated. I'm
Yeah.
all super simple.
Oh, same,
Mhm.
same.
Fat, carb.
Oh, same. Yep. I like, yes, absolutely. Protein and fat often go together. I mean,
Yes.
because have your meat has protein and fat often. Unless you're eating like a chicken breast that doesn't have much fat or something in it, but
Yeah.
like that's often taken care of. So like plant a vegetable, like, and I'm kind of like, I eat carbs, but I'm not like my kids eat a lot more carbs than me. So like, but I'm definitely, I fix a carb for the family and like it's just very simple, like
So simple.
nothing fancy, like doesn't take a lot of time, doesn't need a recipe. And once you learn how to do that, you can learn for one thing, just know that
Mhm.
you can learn that. And once you learn it, it just opens up a whole new world of like health for your family.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And like, yeah, it just you literally just need two things. And you know what? Like maybe someday like you have a Sunday dinner and you have more elaborate meals and you spend more time with it.
Yeah.
And that's great too.
Yeah.
But for your like feeding family 3 meals a day, like you gotta be simple. And you got
Yeah. I love leftovers at our house.
leftovers. Every time I cook, it better feed us at least 1 to 4 times. I mean 2 to 4. Like there will be at least one set of leftovers in there. Or else
So
not.
smart. Yeah, really smart. I love that. Well,
Yeah.
anything else you want to share with us that we haven't talked about that you feel like we're missing here?
Um, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. I
Good.
think we covered a lot of great stuff. I really appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing your wisdom with us. Mostly thank you for what you're doing because we get meat from you and it's wonderful. And I really appreciate having somebody um that's doing it well that I can buy from. So thank you. Thanks for blessing
Appreciate
my family in that way.